This video is brought to you by Glasshammer Gaming. Use the code CommandPhase to get an extra 5% off your models and hobby supplies. A link to their store is in the video description below. Hello and welcome to the Command Phase. My name is Mark and thank you so much for joining me. It's that magical time of the year when the Warhammer 40k holiday Battleforces are being announced, and we've got 5 on offer this year for Warhammer 40k to either start a new army or expand on an existing one. So in this video I'll be breaking down what's inside, the cost and points values for each of these boxes. While we don't have the exact prices just yet, I'll be estimating them to work out the value for each. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. First up, we have the slightly underwhelming Adepta Sororitas Battleforce Pentent Crusade host. Inside you'll get 1 Ministorum Priest, 1 Repentious Squad, 1 lot of 10 Arco-Flagellants, 2 Mortifiers or Penitent Engines, and 2 Adepta Sororitas Rhinos. This works out at RRP to be worth £215.50, €283.25 or $347.50 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits middle of the pack in 3rd place of the 5 boxes on show today. In terms of points, you get between 670 and 680 depending on which variant of the Mortifier or Penitent Engine you build, which puts it in 4th place of the 5 boxes, although that's the least of this box's issues. While this does head down a very specific path of the Penitent theme for their detachment, I'm not sure the box's composition will really entice newer players to jump in and collect a Sisters army. There are just no real iconic Sisters models from that range in here to reach a broader appeal inside this box. Those already collecting Sisters may well see this as a cheap way to pick up some more Rhinos, but with them being in the old Combat Patrol, potentially not. It's not the current meta build for Sisters either, with Bringers of Flame being the current detachment of choice, which utilises very little from this box, if anything. While I don't think it'll fly off the shelves, it's still a good pickup for those players that want these units. Next we have the Dark Angels Battleforce Inner Circle Task Force, and for me this is one of the standout boxes this year. Inside you'll get Lionel Johnson, 1 Terminated Chaplain, 2 lots of 5 Deathwing Knights, and 2 lots of 3 Inner Circle Companions. This works out at RRP to be worth £233.50, €295 or $374 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which is the most value of any of the boxes being shown today. In terms of points, you get roughly 1,025 in total, which sits top of our list out of the 5 boxes. For me, this is going to be one of the fastest selling boxes this year for good reasons. You get the perfect entry point into a Dark Angels army with both the Deathwing Knights and Inner Circle Companions being a mainstay at the moment in top lists. A great centerpiece in your army with the Lion and another character in the Terminated Chaplain that fits well with these units. That and they're all pretty recent sculpts, which really helps to make this box stand out. I certainly wouldn't recommend getting 2 of these boxes for obvious reasons, but this will give you half of a 2,000 point army right off the bat, allowing you to fill in the rest with units you feel you need to play the missions. I'm personally not a big Space Marine fan, but even this has me tempted. Now onto undoubtedly one of the battle forces that will sell out the quickest in the form of the Imperial Knights Valourstrike Lance. Inside you get 1 Questorus Knight, which can either be built as a Paladin or Errant, and then 2 lots of 2 Armigers, which can be built as either Helverins or Warglaves. This works out at RRP to be worth £225, €295 or $368 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits comfortably in 2nd place of the 5 boxes. In terms of points, you get between 965 and 1,005 depending on which variant of the Armigers you decide to build, which puts it in 2nd place of the 5 boxes, only just behind the Dark Angels. This, as I'm sure many of you will expect, will be very popular this year, and to be fair, I can see people grabbing 2 to make a full 2,000 point list. The only minor downside on this great box is that you can only build 2 of the large knight variants, the Paladin and Errant, which may understandably put off some people. but at nearly 40% value off RRP, I don't imagine it'll be much of a problem to many. Plus, with the Imperial Knights Codex due to be released in the new year, it could well be a great time to get started. It'll be interesting to see if any new models come with that release, but if you're thinking about starting Knights, this is a slam dunk purchase. Up next we have the Necron Battleforce with the Hypercrypt Legion, although maybe it should have been named after the Phalanx detachment instead. Inside you get 1 Catan Shard of the Void Dragon, 1 Overlord with Translocation Shroud, 10 Necron Warriors, 3 Canoptic Scarabs, and 2 lots of 5 Lich Guard or Triarch Praetorians depending on which variant you want to build. This works out at RRP to be worth £208, €271 or $339.50 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which puts it dead last in 5th place of the 5 boxes on show today, with over a third of the box's value being the Catan. In terms of the points, you get between 685 and 755 depending on which of the Lich Guard or Triarch Praetorians you decide to build, which puts it in the middle of the pack at 3rd place of the 5 boxes. While it's nice to see a centerpiece model like the Void Dragon make it into a Battleforce box, especially when it looks this great, it does limit the number of current Necron players that may want to grab this box. The Lich Guard and Lord are currently good in the game and the Catan is excellent, while the others are a bit lackluster. The thing I would have liked to have seen is the Warriors being swapped out for Immortals to lessen the overlap from the Combat Patrol. Plus, anyone that's been collecting Necrons recently and grabbed any starter boxes from 9th, I'm sure is swimming in them. Potentially, you could use the spare bits from the Lich Guard or Praetorians to kit bash them more if you didn't need the Warriors. That being said, if you're brand new to Necrons, this is definitely a really good first buy. Last of all, we have a somewhat interesting box with the Tau Empire Battleforce Retaliation Cadre. Inside you get 1 Tau Empire Commander, which can either be built as an Enforcer or a Cold Star. You then get 1 XP95 Ghostkill Battlesuit, 1 XP88 Broadside Battlesuit, and 1 XP104 Riptide Battlesuit. This works out at RRP to be worth £211, €268 or $335 for the individual boxes on the Games Workshop website, which sits in 4th place of the 5 boxes on show today. In terms of points, you get between 510 and 525 depending on which variant of the commander you decide to build, which puts it in 5th place of the 5 boxes by a considerable margin. This is almost half the number of points of the Dark Angels Battleforce, which is more of an issue with the points cost of the Tau than anything. At first glance here, having less models than the Imperial Knights box definitely feels a tad odd. That being said, the mechs in the Tau Force are what draws people into the army, and these are 4 of the coolest ones they have available to them, with all of them seeing play in one form or another. I totally understand it would have been nice to see some Crisis suits in the box, possibly swapping out the Broadside or Ghostkill to bring them in, or add some stealth units to pad out the numbers a little. But for me, if I was looking to get into Tau, this box and the Combat Patrol is a great start. Overall, I think we have some pretty decent battle forces this Christmas, with the Dark Angels and Imperial Knights being the standouts for sure. If you're after either of those, I wish you luck in pre-ordering when the time comes. These two I can see lasting a matter of minutes. The others may well surprise me in how fast they go with the value in the boxes. Granted, the value is only there if you need or want everything inside. I'm sure there's going to be some very empty wallets come Christmas time. Let me know in the comment section below what you've made of these boxes. Any that stand out to you that you just can't resist? If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, please hit that like and subscribe button, as it really makes a big difference. Thank you all so much for watching the command phase, and I'll see you in the next video.